So you probably recognize Shawn. He was someone we featured at Nationals because he won 2 WizKids Opens. Remington was on track to have a similar feat. Remington actually performed really well. He also played in 2 WizKids Opens, and I believe he top cut them both. So we always appreciate the dedicated fans who make a point of getting out there and playing a lot of the different events. So, in terms of the teams we're seeing today, really interesting. We've got Remington with a lot of what you'd expect from Nationals, right? Doom Calendar Knight, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Professor X, Gabi's Arena, Too Cool for Words. But Phoenix and Spider-Man are the really interesting surprise choices. Spider-Man is going to make sure a bunch of your attackers get through. And, of course, Genie is going to make sure that your opponent's characters attack. So both kind of function as block and roll. Shawn's using Goblin Attack Force. So Shawn is just, since his success at the WizKids Open events when he was using Silver Surfer, and a lot of people hadn't kind of caught on to that yet, since then he's really just been trying to say, what can I do? What's the one little extra thing I can play to give me a big advantage over other people? And so today, what Shawn believes that is Goblin Attack Force. The fact he's only playing 1 die on it is probably a signal to us that he's playing them for their global, but they've got a pretty decent body to them in terms of how big they're going to be. Oh, he was reaching me that direction. I was like, no, not after I say it. Gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Goblin Attack Force can force a character to block with its global ability, so gonna be interesting. So you'll notice that Remington has 2 dice on his Phoenix. There's a chance that he goes and buys that, but I think there becomes a point where you just say, hey, I've got so many dice to distribute because I've got one with the global, one with the global, and so on. That why not spread out those extra dice? It doesn't make sense to have 5 dice on or 4 dice on Iceman and 4 on Spider-Man when you could just as easily go to a second Phoenix for the corner case where it starts to matter. Okay, so Remington's used Resurrection. 3 has 3 dice out of play. He's going to grab some dice. Okay. Gets a Gabi to his prep here. So Remington's guaranteed that he's going to draw 2 Gabi next turn. Could burn Shawn out pretty quickly here. Shawn is not playing any of the defensive globals we've seen throughout the weekend, like Human Paladin or Vibranium Shield, or even Trent, for as silly as Trent can sometimes seem. The invulnerability on Remington's side is really just going to add a layer of inevitability that, hey, eventually I will be able to attack with an attacker that you can't block, or enough attackers you can't block them all, and that ping damage is what's going to get me through. Shawn's thinking hard here because he knows that there's going to be a big turn coming up for Remington next time, that Remington's going to have both of those green goblin dice, and there's the chance that they both come through for 5 attack, and Shawn ends up taking more than 10 damage next turn. But he's hoping that buying 2 Constantine dice and just really having a chock-full bag of dice is going to put him to a place of advantage. So Remington's going to be rolling a total of 8 dice this turn. 2 of them are Gabi dice. Yeah, we got our dual-screen Gabi for those of you at home. Okay, Remington shakes up his dice and rolls them. So, whoa, Remington got a bunch of sidekicks there. And a Gabi. So, gonna reroll 2 dice, 3 dice. No, rolling 4. Okay. Ooh, he actually went down on that 1 Gabi. So, 4 sidekicks out. So Remington's trying to see, does he have the game here? So he's gonna spend the mask for Gabi. Does 4 damage to Shawn. Shawn is at 16. Remington's taking some notes on the game. I imagine he's going to be putting some stuff online for people who enjoy the game later. So, oh, okay. So Remington is just attacking for a 5 here. Remington is not pushing for the game or to try and get Shawn to some abysmally low amount of life. Oh yeah, he couldn't really close it out because I'm still thinking like, oh, what about the second five from the other Gabi? No, that's not the case. Um, Consider though that with another, if that bolt energy had been a Gabi instead, you'd be looking at another potentially 9 damage to Shawn, plus 4 from the sidekicks, and that would in fact be game. Even if it was the lower level, those question marks could have turned. Uh, one of the question marks might have been able to turn into another damage, putting Shawn at 1, which with a Red Dragon Global in play, the game is over for you at that point. Live by the dragon, die by the dragon. So Goblin Attack Force must attack every turn possible, and if you're damaged, you're going to KO it. He's a lot better when there's no a Slifer or a Magic Missile running around. It's funny that the fantasy element of Yu-Gi-Oh is a lot of the times what is expressed in Dice Masters, and it parallels so nicely with the D&D fantasy creatures. So Shawn is kind of puzzling through this. Like, hey, this guy has 4 sidekicks in the field zone. He's got 3 others showing, so there's 1 in his bag and 2 Gabis. This is rough. This is a rough place for Shawn. There's really no debating it. Okay, so he's gonna roll for energy because that. It's yeah. So Shawn just spent 3 energy for the Constantine because he couldn't break apart that shield. Or that's not right. He couldn't break apart the 2 generic energy. Okay, so Remington forces the sidekick to attack, and he's put Shawn down to 18. Okay, so Remington's rolling all of his dice. Okay, so there's a question of how many dice I think was Remington supposed to roll, and we'd be taking damage and getting generic energy and so on. But so Remington is still at 18, so Piercy is not taking any damage. So we talked to Nationals that Shawn really likes distraction, and today he didn't bring it. I think this has to be game. So field Gabi for free for 4 damage. Pay 1, field Gabi for another 4 damage, and then attack with everybody, and that's game for Shawn. Wow, we really haven't seen that Gabi rush in quite a while in terms of standard go-to competitive Dice Master stuff. But why invent new tricks? You'll notice that Shawn is playing. It's using the Tsarina that he got for beating me in a game at Nationals. So good on these guys. Let's see how Remington's doing. Remington should come talk to me when he's done cleaning up. So